In 1951, Solomon Asch wanted to test how peer pressure to conform to others would influence the judgment and individuality of a person. After hearing about Sheriff's conformity experiment in 1935, Asch thought the main problem was that there was no obvious correct answer. In Sheriff's conformity experiment, he used the autokinetic effect. In other words, he projected a small spot of light onto a screen in a dark room where it would appear to move even though it remained still. Like Asch, he put people in small groups after being individually tested to see if they would conform. In his experiment, Asch sat 8 students down at a table and asked them to participate in a vision test. However, only one person was a subject while the rest were Confederates assisting Asch. The students were asked to match the standard line with its matching line on the right. At first, the Confederates were told to answer correctly to avoid suspicion in the subject. They eventually gave the wrong answers after a few trials to see if the subject would conform or rebel. Asch could determine whether the added factor of peer pressure would influence the subject's answers. After running multiple trials, Asch's results showed that the subjects conformed to the group about 1/3 of the time. After reading about his experiments, I decided to conduct my own. I chose 3 friends to be the Confederates and a little brother to be the subject. I asked them to take a guess at how many starbursts they thought was in this container. However, I had already told the Confederates to guess around 350 starbursts. Alright, so you're pretty much looking at the bin, writing down a number, what you think it is, flip it over, and then you'll talk as you decide what you think it is. Go ahead. After everyone wrote down their guess, I took pictures. While taking these pictures, the subject, after seeing everyone's guess of about 350, already wanted to change his wimpy answer of 98 starbursts without even being pressured. In the next clip, you can see our subject in the red shirt tell one of our Confederates he wanted to change his answer. Wait, I don't even think I can see yours.
No, you can't change it.
I just keep it as that.
You have to do it your original one.
Okay.
After already wanting to conform once, I put the subject to the second part of my experiment, peer pressure. So as a group, if you get within 20 of the actual number, you guys get to keep the starbursts, so discuss what you think the number is. Alright, there you go.
Alright, so everyone's guess.
I said 340.
I have 377.
367.
98.
Okay. I think like in between it all, it's like
Yeah, I'd say it's like 350-ish. You think there's 100 in there?
yeah, at least
You-
100.
you-
At least 150.
You think there's at least 150?
You said 98. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not 150.
I don't know. We had like an exercise in like 2nd grade. Everyone brought in like 100 of something. And everyone thought we were bringing these like big like barrels of like stuff. And everyone brought like a little Ziploc bag. And it was like, you thought 100 is a lot more than it actually is. And I think we all kind of think it's a little more than 100. But, I mean, if you think it's 100, well,
I don't know.
Just guess. It's really hard.
200.
200? Alright, well, we kind of average out like 350. And you say 200. So want to make it like in between there?
no. Yes.
Yes. Alright. So, what are you thinking there?
Probably around 350.
I think around 350.
Yeah. 350.
I mean,
350?
alright.
Alright. So, official guess. What do you say? 350?
350.
After being pressured, the subject finally changed his answer from 98 to 350. After his experiment, Asch asked the subjects why they conformed, and they said that they did not really believe their conforming answers, but had gone along with the group for fear of being ridiculed. Now the main question is, why do people conform? It is believed that people conform for three main reasons. 1. They want to fit in with the group. 2. They have a need for social respect and acceptance. And 3. They believe the group to be better informed than they are. In later trials, Asch changed the procedure in order to investigate which factors would increase and decrease conformity. The factors that increase conformity are the size of the group, since conformity tends to increase as the size of the group increases as well. By looking at this graph, you can see how the number of opponents or confederates affected conformity. The more opponents, the more the subject was likely to conform. However, when the group got too big, conformity declined. By making the standard lines more similar in length, it made it harder to judge the correct answer, which made conformity increase. The last factor is the status of the confederates. If the subject believes that the group is more knowledgeable, they are more likely to conform. When another person in the group gave the wrong answer, conformity decreased by about 80%. When the participants were allowed to answer in private so that the rest of the group did not know their response, conformity decreased. In today's society, conformity is everywhere. It can be at a pep rally when one person stands and claps, then everyone else follows and starts clapping or standing up. However, in this picture, we have one lady who wants to rebel. Another example is when being in a group of friends where everyone parties. No one wants to be that goody two-shoes that does not join in. Or how people dress, like boys wearing their pants below their waist. Every day we face conformity. Whether we choose to conform or rebel makes Asch's experiments one of the most famous in psychology's history.